Guys, today I'm going to show you a recipe that's going to put your palates in overdrive. I'm telling you, this recipe is going to have you salivating for more. I'm going to show you how to make jerk pork. And the ingredients that we're going to need are 2 to 3 tablespoons of jerk seasoning. When you purchase jerk seasoning at your local grocers, it comes in 3 different heat intensities: mild, medium, and hot, as well as 1 tablespoon of flavor enhancer, 2 tablespoons of browning sauce, 3 spring onions, also known as scallions, 5 sprigs of fresh cilantro, and 4 sprigs of fresh parsley, as well as 2 tablespoons of grated ginger and 1 large yellow onion, 5 to 6 pounds of pork shoulder cut into pieces. For our utensils, we're going to need 2 large bowls, a baking pan, aluminum foil, a knife, and a mixing spoon. So with that being said, guys, let's get started with the preparation process. I look at the preparation process, guys, as starting with washing the meat. And as you can see, I placed the meat into a large bowl and I added a couple tablespoons of salt. And I'm adding cold running water to the bowl as well. Using my hands, I'm going to move the meat around as well as massage the meat into the salt water solution. And the reason why I'm doing this is to remove all of the impurities from the meat before cooking it. I'm going to repeat this process about 3 to 4 times. And once I'm done, I'm going to add a couple drops of lemon juice to the water. And I'm going to use my hands once again to move the meat around into the saltwater solution to clean the meat before preparing it. After I'm finished with the rinsing process, I'm going to use my second large bowl, placing paper towels into the bowl. I'm going to rinse the meat off individually and sit the meat on top of the paper towel to absorb the excess water. And as you can see, guys, by the vibrancy and the color of the meat has been cleaned really well. Okay guys, so I'm going to start by preheating the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, as well as slicing my green onions, also known as scallions. Taking the cilantro, I'm going to give it a couple of rough chops, and I'm going to do the same for the parsley as well. I'm going to cut my large yellow onion in half, and then I'm going to slice it into thin slices. Using a grater, I've already grated my ginger. If you don't have a grater, just chop the ginger into small pieces. The smaller, the better. That way, all of the juices would be extracted from the ginger. After all of the herbs and spices are cut up into small pieces, I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of jerk seasoning to my bowl. And I'm going to mix it into the pork really well. Once the jerk seasoning is combined into the pork, I'm going to add my grated ginger, as well as my fresh cilantro and fresh parsley, green onions, also known as scallions, to the mixture, sliced onions, alright guys, as you can see, I'm putting my gloves on because this jerk seasoning is really spicy. I'm going to add my flavor enhancer, as well as my browning sauce. And using my hands, I'm going to combine all of the ingredients into the pork. When all of the ingredients are combined, you could choose to cover it over with saran wrap and place it in the refrigerator and have it marinate overnight. Or you could choose to place it into your baking pan and start the baking process. I'm placing all of the contents into the baking pan. And I'm going to cover it over with aluminum foil before placing it into my preheated 400-degree oven. I'm going to allow the pork to cook for 3 to 3.5 hours. Quick tip, guys. When cooking pork, it's 1 hour to every 2 pounds of pork. So if we're working with 6 pounds of pork, it's going to be 3 to 3.5 hours, because once we divide 6 pounds per 2 hours per pound, we're going to get 3 to 3.5 hours. Alrighty, so as you can see, it's been about 2 hours since the pork has been in the oven, and I must say it looks really delicious. I'm going to allow it to cook for about another hour before I check on it once again. So it's been a total of 3 hours since the pork has been baking, and as you can see, guys, this pork is finished. I'm going to allow it to cool for a little bit before serving it. The finalized product of this jerk pork is absolutely amazing. The texture of the meat is so nice and soft, and the taste and flavor is so delicious, guys. As always, guys, thanks for cooking with Tammy. Don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. And most of all, enjoy.